Hello. Thank you for joining this video and watching if you are here. My name is Torque This video is going to be a channel overview, kind of just of what the channel is going to be, as well as a mission statement, as it were, for why the channel exists. This is going to be a little bit more off the cuff, definitely a lot more laid back compared to what the reviews in the future will be, but it'll flow good. Anyway, the first piece of this that I want to dive into is the channel overview portion. It's basically just going to describe what every review from this channel will be formatted like. That way, if new viewers come in or if somebody just wants a refresher or something, it'll be a way for people to see, and then you'll be able to kind of see what I'm operating under. And then the last portion will just be a reason for why the channel exists. Like I said, mission statement. So what we're going to dive into is that first part, that overview of what this channel is. So my channel is going to focus on game reviews. I'm sure it's saturated enough already, but I think my unique niche here is going to be including the physical aspect of the game alongside the actual review, process. We'll start with games that I will be reviewing, games I will not be reviewing, and then kind of what the goal of those games that I will not be reviewing is. And you'll understand what I'm saying in a little bit for you here. So here are games that I'm going to be reviewing. I'm going to use the new game, Ghost of Yotei, as an example. So, as you can see here, this is Ghost of Yotei. It's currently in my PS5, but just pretend the actual disc is in here. What happens is that I'll introduce the review. Today we're going to be reviewing Ghost of Yotei. And I'll start describing kind of what my initial impressions were of the game before diving into the actual review. And then I'll give an overview of what the case looks like. Right now, the cover of the game is inverted. And you can see the little card in the middle. The cover is inverted. This is the original cover, as you can see. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay. This is the original cover. I inverted it because, frankly, I think this cover just looks a lot cooler anyway. This is the back with the wolf. And from there, what will happen is that I'll describe like the contents that are inside, if there are any. So here is like Ghost of Tsushima. It's the original game in the Ghost series. And then there's the day one or pre-order contents or whatever it is. Already redeemed it. Sorry if you saw that code, you can't use it. Okay. And then I'll describe kind of what the feel of the box is. Describe again the contents, the art. If a game has reversible art, I would assume that not every single game will have reversible art. But if it does, I will detail the original art first, and then do a cutaway, and then come back with the reversible art, and just kind of describe what it looks like, how it feels, if I prefer the original art over the reversible art, and other stuff like that. And then from this point, I will leave that there, and then we'll transition into general, traditional review of the gameplay, story, other stuff like that. And that will be the games that I will be reviewing in that format, how that goes. As you may have been able to guess, the first review I will potentially be doing, that's how you say that word, potentially be doing, is Ghost of Yotei. So keep on the lookout for that. So now we're going to dive into games that I will not be reviewing. We're going to start with something that's a little bit more obvious. I'm going to actually put this over here. So games that I will not be reviewing. And I say that very specifically because this doesn't mean I'm not going to talk about these games, but they're just going to be games that I do not review. Something like this. So this is a GameStop case for a game called Signalis. As you can see, the inside has the disc. It's all good. It's physical and everything. But as you can probably tell, the aspect that is missing of this is one, the art, two, the actual like real true game case for the Signalis video game. Truly one of the greatest video games of all time, actually. And then it's also missing if there's any additional contents on the inside here. It's missing those. And then, yeah, again, the biggest piece, really, of any sort of game case that you get is the art that's on the front, the little blurb on the back, if there is one, other stuff like that. And that is, as you can see, missing from this GameStop case. Not a whole lot to talk about here. If I do not have at least the original version of a game, like the base standard version, or if there's like a collector's version I happen to get, then I'll do those too. And then we will go from there, right? So again, not going to be reviewing games that do not have the original case, don't have the art or any of the contents or anything. Now, the other things that I will not be reviewing, as they are going to be missing that particular piece, and on top of that, they're also kind of not sort of what I want to direct the channel into, are digital only games. I say review very cautiously and very upfront as a means of kind of skirting around the fact that I will be talking about some digital only games. The reviews in themselves will only ever be for physical games. And that is just the long and the short of it. That's just kind of what that is. And we'll get there when we get there for the reviews. You'll see kind of what the format is. Again, it's a little bit laid back here, but you'll kind of see exactly what the format is. The rest of this video is going to be occupied by gameplay footage of Ghost of Yotei, so you'll be able to kind of just see me play, I think it's the shamisen is how it's pronounced, and walk around and maybe engage in some combat if I happen to get footage. So the philosophy, the sort of reason why this channel exists, is fundamentally the direction of how gaming has gone in general. I really do truly think that there was an essence to how games operated 10 years ago, 20 years ago, before the digital revolution is what is how I've seen it called. It's not really a revolution, in my opinion. Forgive my boomer. It's been a little bit more of a detriment rather than a revolution. In my opinion, I think that physical aspect to games was really part of that. It was really a part of the experience of getting a new game. It was a part of the experience of opening it and like putting it in the PlayStation 2 or whatever, and then you start it up and it has the start screen. And just manuals too. I don't know if there are any current, even like indie games don't really do this, but I don't know of any other games currently that do manuals like that you can flip through, that have instructions and other stuff like that. Physical games now usually have like a card of some sort that you can take out, read a blurb or something like that, and then the back of them have those little blurbs there, but nothing like the manuals that we used to get. That would be an easy like 10, 15, 20 pages long that has cool lore stuff, or even if it's just like a small quotes thing from some of the developers or whatever. I really do think that there is an essence to that is severely, severely missed. And the philosophy here is that I just want to kind of put that back into the fray. And hopefully, if this pops off, if I'm able to really be successful in this niche here, that a lot of developers will pick up what I'm putting down and maybe invest an extra tidbit of money into like the box art, or invest the extra monies into getting, maybe it doesn't have to be a damn whole manual with like a bunch of pages. It could be a 10-page thing, quotes from the developers, maybe even just a intro or something to the game or something. Just a small little booklet, anything like that would be super duper helpful, super duper great, super duper, you know, just nice. Like I think things are nice. That is my essence. I think things are nice. And that's the long and the short of it. I don't have a whole lot to say here at this very moment, but keep on the lookout for those reviews. You'll see how this more rolls out in a more edited format, in a format that's a little bit more direct. My first video is going to be a review. It may or may not be for Ghost of Yotei. I am not too sure about that, as I've not even completed it yet, but all in all, that is my whole spiel about this, my philosophy, and the sort of mission statement of the channel. I hope you enjoyed this kind of very off-the-cuff video. Keep on the lookout for those reviews. I'll address the non-physical stuff in the future, but all in all, I'm appreciative of you being here. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.